Commander-in-Chief.
We say the words too often left unsaid. Thank you for your service. Thank you very much.
16 million Americans served in World War II. At the memorial in Washington, D.C., a thank you to the 45,000 still alive.
The story of America endures because of their service.
Hello, everybody.
Former President Barack Obama surprised these Korean and Vietnam War vets arriving in D.C. on an honor flight from Madison, Wisconsin.
Oh, say, can you see?
From rural Iowa to the streets of New York, Americans gathered to salute those who served.
Pretty happily to see the veterans of today who seem like they're in pretty good shape. And it's different than it was years and years and years ago after the Vietnam years.
The Veterans Day Parade here in New York City is billed as the largest commemoration of military veterans in the country. Many of the others this year were canceled, though, part of the fallout from the ongoing government shutdown. The Flag for Every Hero event at California's Riverside National Cemetery was called off without the VA staff to coordinate the logistics of placing nearly 300,000 flags. So a local group stepped up.
And especially being a veteran, it just makes you feel good because it's people appreciating what you did.
Across Europe, ceremonies marked the end of World War I. In Belgium, red poppy flowers dropped onto soldiers and others gathered for the commemoration. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
On Capitol Hill, the House is set to vote as early as tomorrow afternoon on a measure to fund the government after the Senate broke the stalemate last night, passing a bill to end the longest government shutdown in American history. Erica Brown has the latest from Capitol Hill.
At a Veterans Day event Tuesday, President Trump congratulated Republican leaders in Congress after the Senate finally passed a funding bill to end the government shutdown.
We're opening up our country. Should have never been closed.
8 members of the Democratic caucus split with the party, voting with Republicans to support the package that will fund the government through the end of January, extend funding for SNAP benefits for a full year, and reverse shutdown-related layoffs of federal workers. But the deal does not include an extension of Affordable Care Act tax credits, the issue at the heart of the deadlock, sparking backlash from some Democrats.
A lot of the lawmakers involved feel that they have to be so loyal to their party, but they forget that they have to be loyal to the American people first.
The amended bill will now head to the House, where the Republican-controlled chamber is expected to vote on the measure Wednesday.
House Democrats will strongly oppose any legislation that does not decisively address the Republican health care crisis.
As the spending package moves through Congress, staffing issues, delays, and cancellations continue at airports nationwide. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy says travel disruptions would have been worse if a deal had not been reached.
This Thursday and Friday, I think you would have seen mass, double, triple the number of cancellations and delays in the airspace.
Duffy says air traffic controllers could receive most of their back pay within 48 hours of the government reopening. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Meanwhile, Hawaii lawmakers were among the Democratic voices against the bill because it does not include those health care subsidies. The agreement would not extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits that expire in January, and that would mean that the average recipient's premium would at least double then. That's the current bill heading to the House. Congresswoman Jill Tokuda says she'll push to attach subsidy funding to the Senate bill and advocate for Medicaid and Medicare.
When we think of those who are worried about if they're going to be able to afford their health care insurance for themselves and their families, we are going to continue to fight like hell, because we can't have continuing resolutions like this passed that only enrich billionaires.
Despite the progress in Washington, the state is still providing emergency funds to Hawaii SNAP recipients, and the Office of Hawaiian Affairs says it's distributing more than $6 million to help 15,000 of its beneficiaries. A Big Island man is accused of sexually assaulting a woman with disabilities in Kea'au. Authorities say 40-year-old Adonis Higa snuck into the victim's bedroom last Wednesday night and tried to force her to perform a sex act. The 68-year-old woman told police she fought him off for about 2 minutes before he left. Police arrested Higa the next day after reviewing surveillance video. A judge denied him supervised release and maintained bail at $50,000. Higa is due back in court on Thursday. Well, more state lawmakers are publicly urging leaders to investigate a mystery legislator who is accused of accepting a bribe. Now, Chief Investigative Reporter Lynn Cuano says 2 representatives in particular have been trying to get answers for months.
Since May, the representatives have been unsuccessful in getting the Attorney General, Ethics and Spending Commissions to do something. Now they're looking to their colleagues for action.
Letter after letter, Democrat Dela Albaladi and Republican Kanani Souza have been pushing for clarity on a corruption case that already sent 2 of their former colleagues to federal prison. Beladi started in May after learning that a 3rd, unnamed, influential state legislator was involved.
The feds are not going to prosecute a state crime. That is for our state law enforcement to do.
Beladi first wrote to acting U.S. Attorney Ken Sorensen, asking him to immediately provide the appropriate agencies with the identity and investigative reports about that legislator who allegedly accepted $35,000 in an FBI operation. Beladi said state authorities must be given the opportunity to clean up corruption within the ranks, especially if that public official continues to hold elected office. Beladi feared the Hawaii statute of limitations would expire. 2 months later, on July 20th, this letter was sent to Hawaii Attorney General Ann Lopez and the executive directors of the Campaign Spending and Ethics Commissions, saying Beladi had met with Sorensen, who said if there were state law enforcement officials interested in these reports, a request could be made directly to his office and or the FBI. Attorney General Ann Lopez did not reach out to the FBI. Instead, in her response to the representatives, she said her office is ready, able, and willing to assist the feds in the public corruption investigations should the federal prosecutor reach out to her.
We have seen the state attorney general's office aggressively litigate against other people who have violated state campaign finance laws and state ethic laws. So it was very disappointing to see the letter from the attorney general saying that essentially she was going to wait on whether a federal investigation is appropriate.
I was surprised that nothing was being done at the time, but it also reiterated the fact that it is upon the Hawaii State Legislature to take action and to take control of the situation if no other state agency was currently doing their due diligence.
A petition on change.org acknowledged the lack of interest agency leaders have shown in investigating and therefore calls on the legislature to hold public hearings. The petition has not yet been sent to the Capitol, but there has already been pushback by some lawmakers, causing a rift at the Capitol.
The public deserves the opportunity to have the legislature make this right, to end public corruption, and to expose what is happening here. It makes you wonder if they're running cover for a former colleague, a current colleague.
While the representatives initially wanted criminal investigations, which would not be public record, they now want to have hearings that are open to the public. I'm Lynn Kawano, Hawaii News Now.
Happy Tuesday morning, everybody. I'm filling in for Guy Hoggy today. Here's what we're tracking out there. A high surf advisory out on north and east facing shores. Strong trade winds. A wind advisory is likely over portions of the state throughout the middle of this week, and windward clouds and showers out there. A quick look at our 7-day forecast. You can see going forward, we have today, Veterans Day, Wednesday, and Thursday all highlighted in red because of those strong winds. Lighter winds expected going into the weekend.
Thank you, Drew. Honolulu City Council members have unanimously passed a resolution supporting a 27% pay raise for HPD officers through the year 2029. The deal with the State Police Officers Union also includes a one-time $1,800 retention bonus in 2026. This comes after nearly 18 months of negotiations between SHOPO and government employers statewide. But it's not done yet. The remaining county councils now need to authorize the agreement for the contract to take effect. And a critical medical resource for Hawaii Island residents is now up and running. Life Flight Network is now operating on the Big Island. The organization provides emergency medical transport, which is especially crucial for patients in rural communities. First responders and community members held a blessing last week at the Kona International Airport for the organization's new helicopter and fixed-wing aircraft. The chopper will be based in Kona, while the plane will be stationed in Hilo. 2 patients were transported just 24 hours after the service was launched.
Union members outside of a children's hospital continue their fight for a better contract, but families inside say it's taking a toll on young patients. I'm Dylan Ancheta with both sides.
Welcome back. The picket line outside Hawaii's largest children's hospital is drawing complaints from patients. Dylan Ancheta reports on the noise.
The strike outside of the Kapi'olani Medical Center is stretching into its 4th week as union members say negotiations are at a standstill.
They haven't met us with anything. Went back to the table and they offered us nothing.
The Teamsters Union said the latest round of negotiations came last week, but their demands still have not been met.
These people are caring and love their patients and want to get back in there, but they also deserve to earn a living.
As striking workers continue their fight, some inside are growing restless over the noise. Megan Taylor's 3-year-old daughter, Nadia, was admitted Saturday for a respiratory virus. She said they've been woken up by the sounds of the rally.
My daughter turned around and she's only 3 years old, and she yelled at the window, "Please be quiet."
Union members hit the picket lines daily from 6:30 a.m. to 8:30 p.m.
We are honoring the hospital by not using cowbells, by not using loudspeakers. We are not ringing bells unless we're on the side. So we are pretty, I think we're being pretty quiet actually, considering what we could do.
Police are present during the demonstration, and union leaders said when they've asked for certain activities to be restricted, they've complied. As for the honking, they don't encourage drivers to do it, but can't help if that's how they choose to show their support.
We do not have our own people going around the hospital excessively honking, and we do not have excessive loud, horns or anything. So whatever is being done is not in our control.
In a statement, the hospital said they are handing out noise-canceling devices like headphones and earplugs to families and patients. Signs are also posted encouraging people to be mindful of noise levels. Taylor hopes the picketers would consider relocating somewhere away from the pediatric unit.
I respect the right for people to demonstrate, but at this point, they're hindering the health of the children who are sick in this hospital, and they deserve peace and quiet and time to heal.
We do need to get our attention out there. We need to know that our people are out here. We need to get back in there to take care of our patients.
Dylan and Chetam, Hawaii News Now.
An honor flight full of veterans and their families got a surprise greeting when their plane landed in Washington, D.C.
Hello, everybody. What? As we approach Veterans Day, I wanted to stop by and just say thank you for your extraordinary service. To you, your family, the sacrifices that all of you made to protect our country is something that will always be honored. And we are very grateful, and we also happen to welcome you with a 70-degree day in D.C., which doesn't always happen around here.
Former President Barack Obama surprised veterans of the Korean and Vietnam Wars who were traveling from Wisconsin over the weekend. The former president greeted each of them as they deplaned, and he gave them presidential challenge coins.
Last time I got to see a president, it was Gerald Ford. How about that? So nice.
It was a joy in my heart today to see all these people. It's good. We still got people in our country, and that's good.
The Honor Flight Network is a nonprofit organization that offers veterans and their families trips to Washington, D.C. The flights are provided free of charge thanks to donations. Well, let's take a live look outside with our tower cam on this Veterans Day. You can see some showers off there in the distance, and it's kind of overcast. Drew's going to have your full forecast when we come back.
First Alert Weather with Drew Davis.
Tuesday, everybody. Here's what we're tracking in our First Alert weather forecast. We've got a high surf advisory out there, likely seeing a wind advisory at some time this week due to these strong trade winds and also windward clouds and showers out there. You can see in our surf and shoreline forecast, north and east facing shores both under high surf advisories, as we've got that north swell that's on the decline, and because of breezy trades, we've got east facing shores on the rise as well. So let's just break down your island by island forecast for the rest of Veterans Day, getting up to around 80 degrees over in Hanapepe today over on Kauai. Showers are likely along the windward side of the island on Oahu, 84 for a high temperature this afternoon, getting down to around 75 tonight. Partly sunny out there. Maui County will be seeing scattered showers afternoon, mostly sunny out there. Breezy trades potentially getting up to 30 miles per hour in terms of wind gusts over Maui proper. Over on Kailua Kona, you can see, or the Kailua Kona side of Hawaii Island, 82 over there for a high temperature, spotty showers, and pretty breezy over the eastern and northern portions of Hawaii Island. Seeing temperatures around 78 degrees out there. Showers likely on the Hilo side. Partly sunny on the northern portions of the Big Island with much stronger wind gusts out there. And you can see as we're going forward in our first alert windcast going into this afternoon, 20 to 25 miles per hour sustained winds, weaker overnight, but still between 10 to 15 miles per hour around 2 a.m., which is it's atypical in the overnight where we typically see much weaker winds. Wednesday afternoon, even stronger. This is likely when we'll see that wind advisory go up, and then we'll start to see trades get a little bit weaker going into the back half of this week and into the weekend. And also, you can see our first alert futurecast. Some more moisture is going to be riding in along the trades tonight into Wednesday, sticking around over the eastern half of the state. So windward Hawaii Island and windward Maui seeing an increased chance for showers. We're also tracking the chance for some heavier showers as a weak trough or a low pressure system is going to be moving across the state later this week. Here's your 7-day forecast. Again, the next couple of days are highlighted in red as we're continuing to see pretty gusty conditions out there. Slightly weaker winds going into Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Temperatures warming back up to around 86 degrees.
Thank you, Drew. Still to come, just another day at work for Casey as he takes us skydiving to celebrate National Aviation History Month. That's ahead in today's Good News Now. It's time for some good news now. November is National Aviation History Month, and what better way to celebrate the spirit of flight than by jumping out of a perfectly good airplane? Casey Lund takes us to Oahu's North Shore.
Well, I'll admit I was a little nervous. This would have been the first time ever skydiving for me, and I knew I wanted to go with the right people. That's why the folks at Skydive Hawaii, they're who you want to go with. Locally owned and operated. They've been here on the North Shore for 40 years. The most experienced instructors will take you. They know the topography, the weather conditions here off Mokuleia, and I had the time of my life. For nearly 4 decades, Skydive Hawaii has operated out of Kawai Hapai Airfield, formerly Dillingham, a place with deep roots in aviation history.
I didn't want to start a skydiving business when I first started. I didn't want to own airplanes. I wanted to take my mind off of all the stresses I had in life being a property manager. And skydiving did exactly that. When I climbed out of the airplane, hung on the strut and let go, there was only one thing I thought about, and that was saving my okole.
What began as a personal escape for Frank Hinshaw back in 1984 soon turned into a family business, one that's now the only locally owned and operated skydiving company on Oahu.
My father-in-law's been actively, doing some farming back here, starting a polo field, as well as keeping Skydive Hawaii going, giving the tourists and locals and people from all over the world their first tandem skydiving experience. It's one of those things or experiences that everyone should do once in their life.
You ready to do this?
Yep.
That sense of ohana still defines the business. Many of the instructors and staff have worked here for decades.
It's like a family for sure. And it's an amazing vibe. Everyone gets along together like well. A bunch of us live together. We hang out after work. Yeah, I think everyone's happy to be here. Everyone loves their job. So yeah, it's not even really a job.
And the skydiving family continues to grow, adding people like Matt Tweed, a retired U.S. Marine infantryman who found a new mission in the cockpit.
From the pilot perspective, this is the best job you can get because we're like the busiest tandem drop zone in the country. We have skydivers come here every day. On a slow day, I'm getting 5 hours. On a busy day, I'm getting up to 10 hours of flying.
It's all part of the experience, a mix of adrenaline and calm, of trusting the people around you and soaking in the view below.
A little tight in here, baby, little tight.
Finally, it was time. The look on what used to be my face might not tell this story, but it was peaceful. Up here, in the air, time seems to stop. Below, caught in a point to Waimea Bay, the history of flight feels very much alive.
Skydiving allows you to look at life from a different point of view, and it gives you a reality that you may never have thought about before.
A perspective that, after 40 years in business, still inspires the Skydive Hawaii team, and one I'll never forget. That's definitely something I think everyone should experience at least once in their lifetime. If you're up for it, Skydive Hawaii operates 7 days a week, weather permitting, because safety is #1. You can go to skydivehawaii.com for their rates and more information. Reporting at Mokuleia, I'm Casey Lund for Hawaii News Now.
Thank you, Case. Glad you had fun. I have jumped with Skydive Hawaii, and it is epic. If you can do it, you should definitely try. Thanks for watching. This is Now. Happy Veterans Day to all our vets out there. Aloha.